If I was living in San Diego, I would probably sacrifice, purchasing property. Again, if it's an hour away, hour and 20 minutes away, and if I can get into that house, finding an area that's growing, but that's not there yet, and make that commute every day, and if I have to do for work.
Shout out El Centro.
Yeah. Well,
I love it. I love it. I hear you.
Yeah.
So essentially, you're saying that sacrifice would be, I don't get to live in Metro San Diego. Exactly. I don't get to live in Bay Park. I don't get to live in PB. I'm going to go live in Paris or El Centro or wherever down really south near the border and make that commute to where I have to work and to make that sacrifice.
Make that sacrifice, because that sacrifice could be 2-3 years and it can change your life. And someone that makes, like I have a lot of friends here in San Diego, they can make like 140, 150, and they're living downtown, they live by themselves, they live in their life, it's great. Maybe they're gonna make more money, down the line too, but they're young. Right now they have no roommate, but they're not saving any money.
Sure.
And again, I've tried to, they've tried to buy a house.
It's what you save.
It's what you save. I try to get a home loan and things like that, and it's tight, right? They make $140,000 a year.
Right.
It's insane, right?
Yep.
I mean, if they would sacrifice 1 year, move out of downtown, pay, $1,500 a month for rent, and sacrifice 2 years, how much money can they save? And when can
the first house I bought was a piecer, dude.
Okay.
And there were people that didn't laugh at me, but it was, they did not think it was a great house.
Yeah.
But once you get into ownership, dude, and a couple of years goes by, COVID hits, you make a couple $100,000 on a beater.
Yeah.
It's the sacrifice that pays off.
It's life-changing.
I love that.
Dude. So, I tell people all the time, and to this day, I still sacrifice. And again, too, my income is increasing, but I still sacrifice. Even right now, the place that I live in Las Vegas is not like the place I lived here in San Diego.
Bro, we can do a whole podcast about that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett still drives the same car.
Well, yeah.
And it's an entrepreneur mindset, right? I used to drive a $120,000 Corvette drop top because I thought I had to be the guy.
Yeah.
I had all these sales guys looking up to me. Bro, no more.
No more. Yeah.
I walked through that. And I spent a lot of money doing that and being the guy.
Yeah.
Bro, my car, if you saw it, you'd be like, how much money is this guy making?
Yeah.
But I'm fine with it because every dollar that I make is going into real estate and my business.
Exactly.
And my car, no one really, the big hitters don't care what kind of car I'm driving. They care whether I can produce.
Exactly.
They care whether I can say something and do it and help them either save money or make money.
Yeah.
They're not concerned about my car.
Yeah.
So you have to learn that. And the entrepreneur attitude is, I'm going to sacrifice. I think the true entrepreneur attitude is, I'm going to sacrifice and do what's necessary to get where I want to go. And if that means I'm going to keep putting equity into the business, and push what I get paid or when my payoff comes down the line, I'm doing it because I trust in this country. I'm betting on myself. I'm betting on the industry I'm in. And I know that payoff is coming. And the more I put in, A, the better my chance is to make it. And B, hopefully, the bigger it is.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm with you. I love sacrifices.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
And just to add on that, too, it's like I do spend money on certain things, but it's a lot of times going to restaurants with friends and like that. Those are experiences, right?
I have nothing against anybody that has a nice car.
Yeah.
Dude, I had, at Synergy, my old company, we had 60 vehicles.
Okay.
I've had fun with vehicles. It's kind of like once you do it, you do it. I'm just not impressed with vehicles. And again, different strokes for different folks too. I'm not judging anyone that drives a $300,000 car. But for me, dude, $300,000 is almost a unit in San Diego. That's just the way that my brain is adjusted. But again, nice cars are nice cars. Great. If you want a nice car, you own a nice car. Drive a nice car. More power to you. I probably eventually will have another nice car down the line. But bro, this business is all consuming right now. 80 you pals. All consuming, dude.
And that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
I agree, yeah.
Okay, number 2.
Now, if you could remind me what's number 2, would we...
Line skip hacks.
Another line skip?
Yeah, another line skip hack. Sacrifice.
Okay. So another one it's a big one, and it's buying real estate with other like-minded individuals.
You're talking about partnerships, investors?
Partnerships. Right?
Okay.
And again, the reason why I say this is because I hear this a lot, right? People struggling They're saying, well, again, we're in San Diego. They're saying I can't buy a house. I say, well, talk to your cousins. Go talk to a friend. Go find somebody else that wants to purchase real estate. Now, again, it could be, a bad situation with partnerships and things like that, but you have to get out there and start talking to people and stop complaining, because people right now are just complaining.
I love that. My down payment's $70,000. It's too expensive. I'm never gonna get the money.
Yeah,
it's too much. I only make 40 grand a year, and they give up, and then they go buy, or they go move into an apartment or a house, right, and end up paying rent, and the cost of real estate's not coming down, and inflation, and so their dollar's not lasting as long. And instead of focusing on, getting on bigger pockets, following guys like you on Instagram and social media that are putting out great information, going to meetups and talking to people, searching for solutions, solves to this problem. Like you said, hey, talk to an aunt, talk to an uncle, talk to a brother, talk to a sister, talk to someone in your family who owns real estate, or start going to meetups if no one in your family has any real estate. You only, everyone in your family works at Safeway or Vons, and you don't make enough money to own real estate. No offense to anyone who works at Safeway or Vons, but maybe there's not the means to buy real estate within your core group or family or friends. Then you need to do what's necessary to reach out to other people, because obviously there's a lot of homeowners across this country. I love that, dude, because when I think about partnerships, I think about it in terms of business. But ultimately, that asset is what a business also is. A business is an asset, and real estate is an asset. And I don't want to get into the crossing swords over home ownership, personal is not an asset and all that.
Yeah.
Because, I disagree with some people who say that it's not an asset. I think, as I've said before, everyone that can afford to buy a house should. And if that means I have to get my brother involved and we're both going to just work our butts off for 2 years and save 35 grand each to buy a house, do it.
Let's do it, yeah.
Yeah. I love that, dude.
Yeah.
I love that.
It gets to my bone, like, when I hear people talking about that. And again, too, in being here in San Diego right now, I have some friends and things like that, and they're complaining about things, and I'm like, look at the sacrifice I'm doing. I'm born and raised here in San Diego, and I moved. Again, to me, there's a lot of other benefits that I'm gaining too, but it's just like, I'm not complaining, I'm just doing, right? And so I think that is my biggest thing with people, is they have the ability, and a lot of people have a lot more than I had, and they're complaining. So I really try to push that, with my core friends and things like that. Some listen, some don't. But I think a lot of people that I've met recently that are, I would say, called newer friends that are not from San Diego are actually taking that advice.
Yep.
Which is nice to see.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, there's actually a scripture in the Bible that talks about that.
Okay.
A prophet is not, I'm summarizing it, but essentially it's a prophet's not really seen as a prophet in his own town.
Mm-hmm.
So, people that knew you as Hamilton at 24, now you're this big real estate developer guy, they're still going to see you as Hamilton at 24.
Mm-hmm.
And, the boys you used to run with and whatever, right? When it comes down to, hey, no, I'm serious about business now. Hey, bro, I'm reading books. Hey, bro, I'm out there. I have mentors in my life. Hey, bro, I'm putting my equity on the line. I'm putting my relationships on the line. I'm growing. They're going to be like, well, what's up?
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes you got to extract yourself. And look, I have a very core group of friends that I've maintained. And we talk about sometimes you outgrow people. I'm not saying you have to outgrow them, but you only have so much time in a day.
Yeah.
And if you're learning this information and those dudes are your friends or females, those people are your friends, and you're like, hey, dude, like, did you see the game? They want to chop it up about the Chargers or the Padres or who's the hockey team out there?
The Knights.
You guys got the Knights.
Yeah.
They're playing. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
But then when it comes down to, hey, let's house hack.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they're nowhere to be found, or they're like, oh, you think you're somebody. So that's the basis of the scripture. It's like, hey, look, that comes with, once you kind of understand that might be the way it goes, eventually you stop wasting your time, and you can still be friends with that person. I'm not really one to be like, cut losses and all that. I believe in long-term friendships, but also I don't want to speak and share information that I've had to work to gain from somebody that's not going to appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I can chop it up with you and I about the Golden Knights all day, if that's your jam. But when it comes to me, making $100,000 on a flip, that's not your jam. I'm going to share that with somebody who wants to hear it.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. And again, everybody has different things going on in their life, but I agree 100% everything you just said right now. Again, too, I don't push friends to do anything, because again, too, real estate, there is a risk to it.
Yeah,
right?
bro.
And so you got to be able to understand that if you get into real estate, there's a possibility that you might lose, but it's not going to keep you from going. Right?
Inherently in business, there is a profit and a loss column for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
There's a miscellaneous line item column for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started in business, Hamilton, I could not read a balance sheet or a P&L. And I definitely did not know about the miscellaneous line items, bro.
Yeah.
You learn that from doing.
Yeah.
And so everyone wants to focus on the wins. When you start communicating and hanging around big, real investors that have been through multiple cycles, they understand that. But you have to walk through that experience to get into those rooms. But once you get into those rooms, the big guys, they understand that there's risk. And they're willing to stick by you and be by your side if some things go bad. And they also have documentation in place for those things. So there's risk-adjusted return. But you're right, bro. We shouldn't make anyone do anything or try to convince people that don't want to be convinced of anything. There's enough money out there. There's enough investors out there where you and I communicate. You're going to hit me up. Hey, Jonathan, I got a project. Let's talk about it. Hey, not in my buy box, but I got a guy that's been looking to do that or do this. And all of a sudden, the network continues to grow.